Хосе, you have been in Ukraine for a week already. What's new? What did you see in Ukraine?
I've seen very brave Ukrainian people looking at the future with hope and optimism. I've been in Orhiv, I've been in Kramatorsk, I've been in Chernihiv, in Kharkiv, Rhiv, and people are patient. Times are hard, but people are strong.
I know that you've got the award from the President of Ukraine.
Well, he didn't give it to me. He gave it to all of us. He gave it to the more than 6,000 people that we were together in Chefs for Ukrainian Rewards. We didn't do it. People like you did. We were next to you. We had experience on do this at big scale, but I never did it in the middle of a war, in a country that a lot of people were living. But it worked. We came to everybody and we say, we want to help. Some of you were already helping. Others, no, because it's a war. So they were doing other things that was not good. Then we had 1 more million informal food bags in the places without supermarkets. We began in Bucha and Irpin with those bags. We were here on April 1st, you know, and we saw that what people needed until supermarkets reopened was food. And we kept going to everywhere as the Ukrainian troops were taking territory, we were bringing bags of food. Because people know how to cook, and people can cook. A lot of people were cooking outside their homes, in an open fire. Ukraine, I always said, is not a problem of food. It was a problem of infrastructure in the middle of a war. Chernihiv, they had the bridge. It was difficult to get to Chernihiv. Well, the train came. The supermarket, when I went to Chernihiv last year, April, May, were very empty.
Katya Serdyuk came to us here, she cooked with us, and she said that when you couldn't go to Chernihiv, you said, let's go there by ship. Is it so?
Don't say no. Just find a way. That we came April 1st was just a lot of people helping us do it. People I even forgot their names. April 2nd, we were able to come back with a lot of trucks full of food. If it wasn't for us coming April 1st, maybe we would never come. Everybody knew us already. They knew we were coming to help, to do tourism. And it's the same with eating person. We brought food and water. That is what they needed the most. And it's the same with eating Chernihiv. When I went by train. I went by train. I was supposed to go back in the train, and I stayed, and I met the guys at La Pizza and others, and they were doing an amazing job. Everywhere I went, I saw people doing amazing things. What we had to do was do more scale.
What impressed you most in Ukraine?
Well, when I came to Kyiv, was the longest entry into a city in the history of my life. The first time I am so close at all to war zone, and you're seeing a city that in a way was functioning. I will not say like a normal city, but so people were going to work. Friends, and they were playing. The ones were they were playing in the parks. People were taking a coffee. In the city was not celebration. You could see the explosions when I arrived at night. That's what shocked me, that the difference between a normal life and a crazy moment that everything is just seconds away. I'm amazed how the Ukrainian people have been able to try to maintain somehow a normal life when nothing is normal. It's very interesting.
Jose, no one knew that there would be such a scale of the war, that there would be such a destruction. You were here and decided to help in Ukraine. Why? You have not been anywhere before where hostilities took place, and Ukraine is the first country where you started to help.
We came, used to help in the border, maybe in one place, maybe do 5,000 or 10,000 meals a day if needed. And we went to build a huge kitchen in Shimish that could do 150,000 meals a day. It was bigger than we needed, but I'm partnering with restaurants all over. Again, we always say in Central Kitchen, we never had a plan. We adapt. And what we did more than anywhere was adapting every day. Farmers needed seeds, we got seeds. People needed water, we made water happen. If refugees needed hot meals, we did it. Families needed bags of food in the rural areas, we did it. We had to come by boat, we came by boat. Probably the first NGO that came by boat to Ukraine, May 2022. We did whatever we felt would be helping the Ukrainian people.
Yuri Koshik, a chef from Lviv, came to us recently, and he said that you came to them at Fast Republic and asked what they needed. And basically, they only needed boxes to pack the food. But he was impressed that you were interested in what they needed.
We came to help. The difference between World Central Kitchen and other organizations is that we believe that the locals know better. Yeah, I need it. That the locals know better. Remember, only 2 people of World Central Kitchen came inside Ukraine in the early ways. Only. It's my next question.
Really?
We didn't do it. The Ukrainian people did it. What we did with support of the people that support World Central Kitchen, because you need money to make it happen. You can do a lot without money, but you can only do so much. But to do what we did, and the American people were supporting us. And because they were supporting us, everything else was easier. If we have money in, and we bring all the food from outside Ukraine, what happened with the farmers and people that live out of producing foods in Ukraine? In the middle of the war, which already is bad, they go poor. But if we're trying to feed people in need, if we can buy foods from local companies, you're creating jobs, you're moving the economy internally, and the money stays here. With the restaurants were the same, all the restaurants were closed. If we could channel some of the money, nobody got rich. If we do it so people can make living money, making money is never a bad thing. But we can pay some of the chefs, and they can pay maybe the lights and the rent. In the process, by helping the restaurants, we were helping thousands of people indirectly. And that's smart, because you give people something to do. And everybody wants to do something, but sometimes nobody knows what to do. No, everybody has the initiative. No, in Ukraine, anywhere in the world okay, I'm gonna cook. No, it's not so natural. It doesn't happen everywhere. Some restaurants usually close, and that's it. But for us, supporting the restaurants was the smartest way. When you have to take care of the wounded in a war zone, who do you send? Doctors and nurses. When you have to stop a fire, who you send? The firefighters. When you need to feed people, who do you think is the best people to feed people?
Jose, can we say that helping people is what you want to do all your life?
It began more than 30 years ago. I've been doing this 30 plus years of my life. First, working in soup kitchen in Washington, D.C., 1993. A place that we were feeding people that were homeless. A place that we were getting food that was wasted, about 2, 3 from garbage. And we brought that food into the kitchen. We got people that they came from jail or they were homeless, but they were trying to make it and come back to a normal life. We trained them to be cooks. They were the ones producing the meals, and then we will feed the homeless in the city. I was a young cook, and I was a volunteer in this organization. I'm still part of that organization. I'm the chairman emeritus. I've been peeling potatoes next to people coming from jail or homeless and learning from them. But then in the process, I saw the power of food to change. In this case, to give hope. People that had no jobs, people that were in the streets, they learned to be part of the community. But it's not like they learned, it's like nobody gave them the opportunity to be part of the community. By us giving them opportunity, everybody became better. They became better, we became better, the city became better. But the most important is that until our politicians don't give food the respect it deserves, nothing will change. Food is a national security issue. Until food is not treated in the same way we treat our defense, our energy. You know, energy, gas. Seems everybody only talks about gas. Gas here, gas that. Yeah, gas is important, but food is more important. If I don't have gas in my car, if I don't have gas in my car, I'll walk. But if I don't have food in my belly, that's clear. We are taking food for granted. And we can go on and on because the issues are bigger, but take a look what's happening. This war is not only about the freedom of Ukraine from the invasion of Russians, taking land and taking lives and destroying cities with hundreds, if not thousands of years of history and trying to eradicate the cultural DNA of Ukraine, which they are failing. But in the process, a country like Ukraine that is such a good farming land, which has such a good farmers and big production of cereal and oils, sunflowers and corn and soy and buckwheat and wheat. This is a fight for feeding not only Ukraine, which Ukraine is fine, but to feed in other parts of the world that depend right now of what is being done here. Therefore, this is a war that, yes, is for democracy and freedom, but it's also about feeding the world. That's why food needs to be taken seriously by all countries around the world. And this is one more reason of why you should be supporting Ukraine.
Jose, your work all over the world is impressive. Tell me, do you have enough time to spend with your family?
I do. My daughter right now, my second daughter Ines is in a hurricane volunteering in Florida. I guess this is part of the DNA, but everybody has to be taking care of their family. I've seen here in Ukraine the importance that Ukrainians give to family. The way everybody's protecting their children. The way everybody's protecting the animals in the family. Ukrainians love dogs, and they're part of the family, and they're not leaving their dogs behind. I've seen other people near the front lines that they say they don't leave because they have to take care of their animals. I know this sounds crazy, but it's actually beautiful that somebody will understand that it's putting their life in danger because they are taking care of animals. It's people like that. And nobody will disagree with me that animals are part of the family. But they've seen those values here in Ukraine. And at the end, that's why the soldiers are fighting for defending the country. Because those values are real. The Ukrainian family spirit, I think, is very strong.
When Katya Serdyuk came to us, by the way, you can watch the episode with her following the link below. So she said that you are like a father to all the people and you want to feed them all. Is it so?
One day, but it takes a lot of time and commitment. And me, I have a lot of hats because I'm a husband, I'm a father, like everybody. Life is complicated, and you realize that sometimes the life never comes with instructions. Right? And you have always questions that sometimes you have friends that give you an answer, but sometimes you have to figure out on your own. And right now, you know, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a friend, but I run my company and I have a great team. My restaurants, I have to show up because I'm the chef. And I have to go because I want to see my teams and the teams want to see me. But then I'm an advisor, I'm a chairman for President Biden on fitness, sports and nutrition. It's a real kind of commitment. I serve in other boards. I'm the founder, but maybe I'm volunteer one because I was the first one. And still I go. Sometimes I try to lead with whispering in the ear. I have a lot of things, but I'm 53. Do you tell me I would used to be part of the big team of people that will end hunger in the world? Yes. But this is a big enterprise, can be done. But you cannot end hunger in the world if you don't start taking care of. We have a lot of problems right now in Africa. I mean, my God, forget Ukraine. Look at other parts of the world, even in the cities of the rich countries, United States, Spain, Europe. It's hungry people. So it's more, obviously it's complex, but I do believe it's doable. If governments and the UN has smart policies with the right funding, that then those policies are well implemented. Because you can have all the money in the world. If you have all the money in the world and you give it, and the organization and the people don't know what to do with it, you will still have hunger tomorrow. Sometimes it's not about the money you have, but it's about the implementation of policies that solve the problems of the people. Money, I always say that if you throw money at the problem is always there. You need to invest in smart solutions. That's why for us, a smart solution for the short term in Ukraine, in the emergency, when everything was invest money in supporting local chefs and restaurants to take care. That's a short term, smart solution. Anything else is throwing money at the problem.
Jose, thanks to World Central Kitchen, all of us, all the chefs of Ukraine who work with the foundation, have incredible skills. Is it possible for people who have learned to cook so much and feed so many people to participate in World Central Kitchen's missions abroad?
We always say World Central Kitchen, we are still a young organization. It's 14 years. Now we have only 80 people. And right now we are in 5-6 missions. I don't work for World Central Kitchen. I'm the founder and I'm a volunteer. But I know many people in the future that will join World Central Kitchen, well as volunteers or well working with World Central Kitchen, will come from Ukraine. Because we had so many amazing individuals that they took so many risks, feeding people under shelling, feeding people in the front lines with mines. World Central Kitchen lost 6 volunteers. In Chuy and in Orny, we lost in two missile attacks, we lost 6 Ukrainians. I never imagined we would lose people. And that was very sad for me. And that even gave me the idea of, do we move out? But everyone understands that just by being in Ukraine, you're taking a risk. And because that, I know in the future we'll have many Ukrainians joining World Central Kitchen in the years to come. I know. It's is the way it's gonna happen. Already happened.
Хосе, tell me please. We all work. We help people. We volunteer.
He never stops asking questions.
So how do you manage to open new restaurants, give them attention, and at the same time help people so much?
We are only as good as the team we have around us. It happens I have a great team. I think we grow sometimes, especially men, in the I mentality. But it's one moment in my life that really I understood what we are all about. In America, in the National Archives, where all the great documents of the history of the United States are, very close to my restaurant, is the documents of the creation, the Bill of Rights, and of the creation of the United States of America. And it's three words that are very important. We, the people. No, I, the person. I can only do so much. We, and it's also an understanding that what you do for you must be good for others. You cannot do things that are only good for you, must be good for others. I don't want to live in a planet where things are only good for me and the people I know. And right now happens that way. You and I were here, we know each other parts in the world that people are really, barely they're gonna have a bowl of something like looks like food. How is that possible, right? So I think having this understanding, we are all a little bit selfish. I am one of them. Sometimes I want me. Then you wake up and you realize, and that's why I love to come to missions in difficult times, after earthquakes and fires. But there you see people really going through hard times. And the only thing that gives me hope is that in the worst moments of humanity is when I see the best of humanity. I think, unfortunately, we had to see a war, but I see in Ukraine a lot of great people. Just working, but then doing other things to help others. The front lines, rescuing children, bringing food to elderly, helping in hospitals, helping in the front lines. Million ways that people are giving themselves. Obviously, the soldiers sacrificing their lives every single day.
Jose, have you seen how the students are studying now? How is the process organized in schools?
Well, I know the First Lady, Zeleńska, is really trying to put together a system. They have 5 plans. The first one, it seems, is here in European. I visited the other day. It's been supported by great people, one of them, Mr. Buffett. And I think they have the right idea, no? To build a centralized kitchen. And from that centralized kitchen, deliver to a small schools that maybe they don't have enough children just to build a kitchen. I think the plan, it's good. We need to see that it really works, because in some parts of the world works, in others, it depends. Every place, every country is different. But I think what they're building here in European is great, and this will serve as a model to open other centers. And hopefully, I'll be supporting them on that effort. But it's great that the First Lady of Ukraine is taking her time in trying to, in the middle of the war, create a system to improve the school feeding on the schools. I don't see a lot of countries at war that they're able to implement the idea that in the middle of the war, Ukrainians were able to digitalize many of the government things in their lives. That's brilliant. I've seen a lot of crazy things happen in Ukraine in the middle of a war that other countries will not do in peace times. They show you that Ukrainians are very smart people. That's why Europe has to use support every effort. But I am very proud of the work that he's done with all the amazing team and partners. He is the example of many other chefs all across Ukraine that in the most difficult hour of Ukraine, they did what they know best. They feed the few in the restaurants when things are okay. But in the very difficult time in this invasion of Russia in Ukraine, the chefs that feed the few in the restaurants began feeding the many across Ukraine. That's what we call ourselves, food fighters. They are all food fighters. Ukraine had thousands of food fighters. There's many ways to win a war. Obviously, you need the soldiers giving their lives in the front lines. But then everybody has a way to fight that war. I'm very proud that the chefs and food people of Ukraine, they've been fighting the war, just making sure that they fed the people. I think for the soldiers to know that their mothers and fathers, that their children were being fed as they were fighting in the front lines, gave them this extra strength to give them a reason of why they are fighting. That's why I think it's been so important.
And I would like to say that thanks to this person, I realized that there are no impossible situations, that the most difficult situations have the simplest ways of solving them. This person taught us to cope, not to stop anywhere, to go on. So thank you, Hose Andres. Thank you, World Central Kitchen, for everything you do for Ukraine and Ukrainians. Friends, Hoсе wants to thank you for working all this time.
There's many ways to win a war.
Є багато можливостей виграти війну.
Obviously, without the men and women
Очевидно, ми маємо
giving their
жінок
lives
і
to
чоловіків,
defend
які
Ukraine,
захищають нашу Україну ціною свого життя,
will be possible.
роблячи неможливе.
But if you ask yourself why the war you're doing is important,
Але те, що ви робите тут, це важливо.
they are fighting, you are cooking.
Вони борються, ми готовимо.
Well, I know the men and women fighting in the front lines.
Я знаю,
They know that
що...
you are taking care of the rest of Ukrainians behind.
Я знаю, що солдати, які зараз знаходяться на кордонах, вони захищають нас.
And they're fighting with more heart
І,
because they know everybody in Ukraine is taken care of.
і вони надихаються тим, що ми підтримуємо їх як другий фронт.
You are fighting this war, helping feed people.
Ми теж боремося на цій війні.
You are food fighters.
Ми food fighters.
So, okay, eat.